Mr. Primetime.
Made it to the end.
That's it. This is it, man. Season is over.
Gase's last hurrah.
2 and
now
14.
spend 4 months debating what to do at quarterback, but at least Gase is gone. So
Gase is gone.
it's a reason to celebrate.
I got to change this because I had the wrong channel on. What a way to end the season, man. Kind of fitting, dude. Like this team has been one of the worst teams in football. They now have the longest drought in the NFL, 10 years not making the playoffs. So this is where we're at, man. I mean,
and those 10 years highlight everything that they've done wrong as far as coaching hires, GM hires, the process that they go about doing it, the reporting structure within the organization, realizing their mistakes, 4 months too late, forcing all these arranged marriages, all of it. That's the result. 10 years of not making the playoffs. Hopefully today you learn. You're rock bottom right now. You're the laughingstock of football. Make this a lesson today. You don't want to be in this position again. Learn from your mistake with Adam Gase. Find the right fucking coach. Do whatever it takes to get him in this building.
Yeah, I mean, now the pressure is primarily on Joe Douglas and his staff and ownership to get the coach. And I don't want to hear any excuses, man. Like, I don't want to hear, make Matt Campbell the offer. Go after Sean Payton. Go after Bill Cowher. Chase all the big names and let them turn you down. But don't be like, dude, be ultra aggressive. Like Joe Douglas has had this entire season. Like, let's be honest. We all knew Adam Gase was getting fired. So he's had weeks to come up with his plan. Put his feelers out, be aggressive, get the commitment from ownership, spend the money, get the guy. Because Matt Campbell's not going to come here for a 3-year deal for $5 million per. You're not going to get Fitzgerald for that. You're going to have to spend significant money to get a culture-changing coach. This is a terrible culture right now.
That's why even though we're going to talk ourselves into a guy like Martindale, if he's the ultimate hire or somebody like that, if it's, a 4-year contract, for, let's say, the kind of money that Gase was making or something like that, you have to look at it and say they didn't really do everything they could have to try and bring in the best candidate. They didn't exhaust all their efforts. They didn't, try and, give a 10-year contract to a Campbell or somebody like that, because that's what it's going to take. If you want to get your top guy in here, it's going to take 10 years, 8 to 10 million per, something crazy like that. And it's time that this organization goes above and beyond to get that guy, because we're rock bottom right now. That's what we need. Whoever your top candidate is, leave no stone unturned, exhaust every effort, get him here.
And this is a great point by Pete. I mean, when you give Joe Douglas a 6-year contract, this is what you're here for. Yep. You're here to help fix it, help rebuild the organization, help rebuild the roster, fix everything up. Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, Adam Gase is gone. It's just a matter of either tonight or tomorrow. Once it's officially announced, we'll go back live again, get the instant reactions, which I know everybody be excited about.
Yep.
But now the pressure, there's a lot of pressure, dude. There's a lot of pressure on Douglas to get the coach, to figure out what's he want to do at quarterback, to upgrade this roster. And here's Gase. Put it on.
The nature and severity of Becton's ankle injury.
They said high ankle.
Oh, jeez.
That's not good.
That's all they told me.
That's not good.
Nope. This is week 17.
Adam, now that the season's over, how would you sum up this one as a whole?
A disaster.
Yeah, we just finished this last game, so
got to watch the film first.
Look at the film to realize he's 2-14.
Wasn't good enough. Obviously,
that's a statement.
Sam was playing a solid game up until those 2 picks in the second half. Could you just talk about the first one in particular and what kind of momentum change it created?
Yeah, I wasn't. I don't know. I can't tell. I couldn't tell if the ball just got away from him.
Oh my God, he couldn't tell.
Gotta watch the film. It was going to be a tight window. They went into a zone coverage. Kind of was thinking that he was going to get to a check down, but I don't think we didn't really get out on that one. We were kind of hanging back. It was a 2-man route. I couldn't tell if he just missed the throw or something else happened.
Adam, what are your expectations? Do you have in terms of your future, do you have anything set up with Christopher for tomorrow or tonight or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk tonight, tomorrow.
I'm sure you will.
Given the results, what are your expectations at this point?
I don't know. I'm not gonna predict anything.
Adam, is there anything that you believe you could have done differently over the last 2 years that maybe would have led to more success on the field?
That's hard thinking about right now. We're just coming off the field from this last.
Thank God this is the last time we have to listen to this shit.
Where are you emotionally after this game?
Well, I mean, I've wanted to win this game. I mean, I've come up here enough times to, have this result. So, felt like we had good plans coming in, and
Good week of practice.
we had a decent stretch there where we did some good things. We didn't
Won 2 games.
finish it the right way.
Yep.
Today's result kind of
He looks
a microcosm
demoralized.
of your career as the Jets head coach thus far?
I don't know. That's for you guys.
He knows his NFL head coaching career is over, dude.
What kind of message did you leave the team with after the game?
Enjoy your offseason.
We talked about kind of our checkup procedure, and told the guys they did a good job sticking together this year, and
Say goodbye.
In the future.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, how important was it for your team to come down the stretch and play? As you said, you guys got a 2-game winning streak. It started out great today against the New England Patriots. Had an opportunity to win the game. How important was it for you to see them finish strong?
Yeah, I mean that was when you win 3 in a row, that's a good feeling. It's never easy to do. That's what I was just really hoping that we would be able to do. Finish the season out with 3 in a row, because that's what you remember, and we weren't able to do that.
We'll
I
take
think couple more for Coach.
Adam, Sam seemed like he steadied himself the last couple of weeks, and then, he has today. How disappointing is it just overall this season?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't, what he thought, what I thought. I know we had some adversity to overcome. I'm sure when we look back at it, there'll be things that we wish we would have done different. But this is where we're at right now, and it wasn't good enough.
Adam, what do you feel like the game got out of hand in the second half? Why did it turn around? You guys are right there.
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I think once they hit that double pass and we turned it over, it just slid away from us.
Adam, do you believe you should be brought back for next year?
We'll have me and Chris for a discussion.
Yeah, he knows. Did he know for 2 weeks?
Coach?
He's known for 2 weeks.
Thanks, Coach.
See you guys.
Great way to end it.
He looks
Goodbye.
demoralized. He looks defeated. He knows his.
So long, farewell, goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, they know he's a dead man walking. He's not going to give him nothing, but he knows he's fired. He's known for 2 weeks. He's been fired.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a joke.
His look said it all. His answers said it all. He knows he's gone. So
Yep.
good riddance. And again, like I normally don't celebrate this day, like with Todd Bowles, Rex Ryan, Herm Edwards, all those other guys, Mangini. They were all likable. They gave you reasons to want to root for them, hope they succeed. Not once in his 2 years has Adam Gase given you one reason to like him, to support him, to be in his corner, to root for him. So goodbye.
That's it. And now it quickly turns to you got rid of this horrendous head coach to finding the right one. So terrible season, but it's fun with you boys. Thank you. First of all, we got to thank all of you for joining us. We were completely new to live streams. We had no idea what was going on at YouTube. We didn't understand super chats or any of this shit, comments, banners. We didn't understand any of this. You guys stuck with us. We definitely appreciate it. Support's been overwhelming. We're going to do a lot more stuff. We'll do the college championship game. We'll do the Bills playoff game if you guys want. We can vote on that in the stream if you want. We will do a playoff game stream. So we can do the Bills. We can do whatever you want. We'll do reactions, draft, everything. But now there's pressure on Joe Douglas, dude. And this is what he's brought here for. 6-year contract, highly touted front office, all this. He's got to get the guy. He's got to get the guy, and they got to spend for him. They got to be aggressive. I want a CEO type guy, but
the spotlight is on Joe Douglas, not just again in terms of the head coaching search, but again, as we're watching this roster today, the two pieces that we thought were the home runs of the draft in Becton and Mims, they both get hurt. So now the entire draft class has injury concerns. Your free agent class doesn't have a whole lot to really tout as far as building blocks going forward. He's got a lot to prove. Nail the head coaching search and do something in free agency, do something with this draft. I mean, we got to find something.
Will you guys cover the combine? We're covering everything, dude. Free agency, draft. We're
year round.
step it away. the head coaching search, every rumor. Primetime and I do a lot of individual videos as well, like our thoughts here and there. So we're going to do a Titanic movie stream. We'll do a McGregor Poirier. We'll do a UFC stream. We'll be doing plenty of stuff. But dude, it's true. It's true that Joe Douglas has a lot of pressure, dude. The free agency class was not good. The draft class is an unknown. Now he's going to have $80 million in cap space, maybe more, depending on what he does. Then he's going to have all these draft picks. He's got to figure it out. No excuses. This whole year, let's keep in mind, last year was a year he basically sat around and just watched. He really didn't do a lot. And the moves he made last year weren't that great either. So.
And what did he learn from sitting around and watching? Leonard Williams, look at what he just did for the Giants.
Man, he's having a game again to do, man. It's crazy.
Again, another one after he was the best player on the field in their win against the Seahawks. So, I mean, he's become that anchor of their defense. We didn't see him as that here. We didn't coach him up to that here. Same thing, Robbie Anderson. He acknowledged, he miscalculated the market on Robbie. We didn't elevate him to, what he was in Carolina. Like, there's a lot of questions all the way around right now.
Thanks for making the season bearable, guys, especially the later nights from Scotland. Darren, thank you very much for joining us, man. We appreciate it. Seriously, it's been incredibly humbling and overwhelming, the support we've gotten, feedback, comments, direct messages, emails. We cannot be more appreciative. We're going to do a lot of cool things once we can get, back to games and stuff like that. But, dude, a lot of pressure on Joe Douglas, a lot of pressure. I mean, they can't blow this. Like, the culture of this team right now is the worst in football. They're losing. The media hates them, is beating them up. The fans are disgusted. We have no patience. Right now, as a team, it is very difficult to market this team or sell season tickets. Because right now, what are you selling us? They had the longest playoff drought in the NFL. You're going to try to sell us some bullshit with high price tickets, PSLs, a lousy stadium. You got to sell us a vision in a program. And Joe Douglas had this entire year to figure it out, dude. Because we knew 5-6 weeks in, season's over. They are fucked. The coach is in over his head. He's a dead man walking. And Adam Gase coming here, which at the time we knew was a bad hire. We called it. And we got roasted for being negative fans. We were spot on. Everything that happened in Miami happened here. So you had him here for 2 years. Set your organization back to the point where the stars that you thought were your stars, Sam Darnold, Robbie Anderson, Jamal Adams, they're all fucking gone now. Well, Sam's going to be gone, I think. But when you had your uniform reveal, your benchmark guys, your foundational guys are all fucking gone.
All gone. Yep.
Except for Sam. He's the only one walking. Chris Herndon's still, we have no idea. Mm-hmm. So this guy has set us back. Joe Douglas has to be the savior. Ownership's got to stay the fuck out and pay. Open your wallet up and say, you want Matt Campbell? You want a Matt Rule contract? We'll pay it. Because we know we are desperate. We talked about this for weeks. This is the Rich Kotite Jets, if not worse. They need a Bill Parcells savior to save them. You need that savior now, dude. And that type of savior scares me away from Joe Brady. And I'll say it again. I'll say it a million times. My first phone call is to the Saints. Once they're over, is Sean Payton available? Now Drew Brees is going to retire. Okay, he's not interested. Bill Cowher, what are your intentions? Matt Campbell, what do you want to do? Pat Fitzgerald, go for all top names, dude. Don't go for the lesser known guys. Like, you need culture changing, established coaches that can come in here and say, listen, accountability, leadership, direction, blueprint. Here it is. Here's my vision. Here we go.
Yep. And that's the biggest concern, even more so than the quarterback, getting the right coach, because you can win with, building a roster multiple different ways. But I'm still fascinated to see how Joe Douglas is even going to handle, this head coaching search, if he's going to have full autonomy to hire whoever he wants, how much the decision at quarterback is going to play into that, whether or not he's going to, look to hire somebody that agrees with whatever he wants to do, or if he's going to, hire somebody that would be open to doing something different. There is so much that's up in the air. But again, if they get the head coaching hire right, that's where it all starts. And you got to trust the head coach from there.
Yep. Dave, thank you very much, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Angel, I'll always remember this season because of you guys. Thanks for being the best entertainment on YouTube. My number one most watch. Godspeed. Listen, man. Angel. Thank you guys for joining us. The chat has been hysterical. We have celebrities in there, the humor, the comedy.
It's the one thing that's definitely gotten me through the season. It's been an awesome distraction. I can't imagine what we'd be doing, without this, just sitting home, being miserable, getting in Twitter wars with people. So this is a lot more fun.
Yeah. Nicholas, thank you very much. Listen, Tyson at Primetime, thanks for all the fun. Even though the season's been fucking terrible, I'm looking forward to the offseason. Listen, we're all are. It's wait, hold on. Where's this other one at? Oh, hold on. This is a funny one. Only touchdown, only TDs. Darnold is STDs. Mono. Right. But listen, we've been miserable all year long. We embraced losing to hopefully start winning. That was the whole thing. But now it's like I'm rejuvenated now, because now it's like we have opportunity in front of us. Yes, the number one pick is gone. Number 2 pick, especially now if Fields playing well, there's opportunity there. We have a ton of cap space. We have a ton of draft picks. The sky is not completely falling, but Joe Douglas has to maximize it. He didn't maximize shit last year.
No.
And now Becton with a high ankle sprain is concerning. He's been injured pretty much all season long, on and off the field every game, it seems like. But, dude, he needs building blocks. He needs elite playmakers. We need guys that can hold, keep the offense. Like Denzel Mims, we hope is going to be that guy. We need explosive playmakers on both sides of the football. He's got crucial decisions to make, and he can't fuck it up.
And
dude, can you imagine if Joe Douglas fucks up this offseason, dude? We're set back another 4 years. Like, this is arguably the most important offseason for the next 5 to 10 years for this team. Because you have a decision at quarterback, you got a maximum, you have $80 million in cap space, and all these draft picks, 2 first-round picks. You can't blow it, dude. You honestly can't blow this. They can't.
No, and I feel like we say that every year, but
this is big, dude. Coming off Gase and McCagnon, man, this is big now. You don't think so?
No, I do. But again, this is the same conversation we have every year. We have plenty of cap space. We have plenty of draft picks. When are we finally going to,
when we stop being
a foundation in here?
When we stop being
when we find the right coach, that's where it starts.
Yep.
You find the right coach, that's where it starts.
And you got to hope that, and the most fascinating thing is I understand Martindale is the hot coach now because he has ties with Joe Douglas. If they focus in on him without going after all these other guys, dude, I'm going to blow a gasket because you want to interview the best of the best and get turned down. Like last time they reached out to Matt Campbell, he said, I'm not interested. Fine. Okay, you made the phone call. Reach out. If Fitzgerald says, you know what, I don't want to come to New York, no big deal. Cowher says, I want to stay retired, fine. Your phone should be blowing up, dude, endlessly.
Even that, though, you would even agree, though, they should be going above and beyond just making a phone call or saying, all right, I'm not interested. No, exactly. Like, okay, you're not interested. All right, what about 10 years, $100 million? Are you interested now? Like, what's it going to take to get you?
If you find a guy you want, you get on a plane, you fly out there with a check and say, listen, let's go. I understand COVID shit, but listen, we're going to meet here and let's figure it out. What it would take to, I understand but what would it take to get you here?
Yep.
Because they're that bad, dude. Like, thank you. We definitely appreciate it. But it's that bad. This is rock bottom, dude. And look where we're at. Look at the incompetence we've been dealing with. We've just watched some of the lousiest football I've ever seen in my entire life. Like I'm old as shit. And this is worse than Kotite. Yeah. The offense, you watched the Buffalo Bills today put up, the last time I saw it was 56 points. Josh Allen's at an MVP level right now. That is now the class of our division. We are light years behind them from a coaching staff to the quarterback to the offense to the defense. We are so far behind. How do we catch up? Coach with a plan and a regime, and Joe Douglas giving us friggin' talent because we don't have much of it. We talked about building blocks. Quinnen Williams, Becton, hopefully if he stays healthy, Mims, hopefully, and you made a great point about Mims. We are so desperate for wide receiver help that Mims makes 2 or 3 good catches. Like, oh, we have a star. We haven't seen a star receiver other than Robbie, who played decent, in years.
And I'm still high on Mims, but look at what was drafted around him. Look at the way Chase Claypool's
Jefferson's a beast, man.
Jefferson's a monster. Claypool's been a beast. Like, Denzel Mims makes a couple catches, we get our hopes up, but he's not doing things that those guys are doing. Point to Adam Gase, point to Sam Darnold, whoever you want to blame it on. He's not being targeted, whatever it is. He's still not, that guy yet. We hope he could be, but he's not that guy yet. Same thing with Becton. I mean, he's got to stay healthy. When he's been healthy, he's been phenomenal. But for an offensive lineman, you got to be out there 16 games.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole thing. Like, we keep talking, you try to, building blocks, what are your pieces of the puzzle? It's like you look at offense, you're like, even like LaMichael Pirine, who didn't even play today, like, you can make it. I'll make the argument. I thought Ty Johnson was the Jets' best running back this season, which is more
explosive. Yeah, he looked more explosive.
It's not a good thing. Like, you drafted Pirine. Like all these little things. Like, the reason why Mike McCagnon shit the bed, it wasn't his first, second round picks. It's all the middle and late round picks and the undrafted free agents. That's where you make your money. Yep. Right now, Joe Douglas's middle round picks, James Morgan wasn't even fucking active all season. Did Cameron Clark play? What did Zuniga do? Ashton Davis? I mean, Bryce Hall had been playing. He had a nice play a couple weeks ago. But like all these things, dude, it's the draft. It's later round picks.
I don't think Zuniga had one pass rush all year. And again, Ashton Davis didn't do much before he got hurt. James Morgan wasn't active. Cameron Clark didn't play. Pirine looks like an average back to me. He could be part of, a 1-2 punch, but is he the feature guy? Is he a home run threat? Probably not. Bryce Hall looks okay. You have some other guys like, John Franklin Myers, Bryce Huff, guys that you've brought in, Braxton Berrios, that can fill a role as depth players, but they're not game changers. Good teams have those guys across their roster. We're clinging on to these little things, but it's not changing anything.
Good job, guys. Looking forward to your videos and streams in 2021. Joe, thank you
Joe.
very much, man. Listen, we appreciate all this stuff, guys. We really do. You have no idea how much we appreciate this. Asked a while ago if I should make my newborn a Jets fan. Decided to go through it and do it. Nowhere to go but up. Extra streams.
True. That's true.
Yep, that's
Start
true.
at the bottom. Build the character.
But then we talked about offense. Look at defense for a second. Defense is more shocking than the offense because Quinn Williams, you say, okay. But then you look at defensive line, you may say Shepard and Fodokasi. Basham's a free agent. John Franklin Myers, maybe Bryce Huff. The linebackers. C.J. Mosley coming back with a ridiculous contract, right? 2 years out of the game. We don't even know what C.J. Mosley is going to be. Other than that, what do you have?
Well, that's why, again, I'm going into the offseason this year with the same approach I did last year, where you're in theory getting Mosley back. You can maybe allocate $20 million if you want to keep Marcus May, Jenkins, Poole, sign an edge guy. But the majority of my assets, most of that, $70, $80 million, plus all my premium picks, put it towards the offense. Get with the times of today's NFL. Build around your quarterback, whoever it is, whether it's Sam, Fields, Zach Wilson. I don't give a fuck who it is. Build around your goddamn quarterback. Double down at receiver. Sign Robinson. Draft another guy with one of your top 3 picks. Sign a Thuney or a Scherf. Draft another offensive lineman with one of your top 3 picks. Double, triple down at all those spots. Assure success for your quarterback. If the defense sucks again next year, fine. Come back with all these young guys: Franklin Myers, Lamar Jackson, Guidry. We'll save Hager, but all these other guys that were these young guys that were, he was terrible today. All these other young guys that were out there, they showed some promise. See if they can build off that. See if they can grow with a year under their belt with maybe a better coach. But even if your defense sucks, if you're losing games 40-35, that's fine. If your quarterback is building confidence and thriving, that's something you can build off. Find a foundation on offense and go forward from there.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing too is you look at Josh Allen and the impact that Stephon Diggs had on him. Yeah. So then it's okay, listen, just say if you bring back Sam or you bring in Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, whoever you bring in, you need that receiver. Mm-hmm. If Allen Robinson said, and I'm an Allen Robinson fan, so I'll sound biased, I understand it. But if his market value is say $11 million a year and you have to pay him 14, I honestly don't give a shit. Because now we have learned, which we've already known this because we're longtime fans, is that these quarterbacks, especially young ones, they need a reliable target, a great route runner, explosive playmaker, a keeper guy.
Not just that though. Bigger picture, like the conversation we were having about the offensive line, right? We were okay settling with Fant instead of going out and getting the best piece in a Jack Conklin or trading for a Trent Williams. Get the premium guy. I'd rather have 3 top free agents than 5 or 6 guys that are here for a year or two.
Or basement shopping shit.
Exactly. I'm so sick of that shit. Get me some premium guys. Overpay, because you're going to have to anyway.
Yep.
Overpay. Get your top guy. And again, if you think Devontae Smith is that also as a receiver, use that from Seattle. Trade up and go fucking get him. Get a top wideout in here. Build that offensive line. Everything on offense.
Yeah, right now, I'm at the point right now where I'm quality over quantity. We've learned, and I got ripped for this last time, but I don't know why. Joe Douglas bargain basement shopped. And what everybody tried to sell me, and this is the difference between us and everybody else. I'll be arrogant like this. We don't sell you bullshit. When we sign Greg Van Roten, or we sign Alex Lewis and bring him back, or we bring in McGovern, or we bring even George Fant, who is completely unproven, we don't tell you that, you know what, these guys are really good, but these kind of journeyman guys. These are low risk, high reward guys that, you know what, is this really the best way to approach it? And this is what we said. Oh, well, fuck that. You guys don't know what you're talking about. PFF told you this and PFF told you that. Meanwhile, the offensive line from this year compared to last year is not much different. The difference is Becton.
The only
making any different.
The only excuse that Douglas gets is that maybe Gase was still on the hot seat, didn't really believe in what was here, so he didn't want to take a huge gamble on as far as
the guys weren't good though. Van Roten wasn't good, dude.
No. Again, I get it, but the only thing that he has that's saving him is that again, this team bottomed out. They're in position to get rid of pretty much all these guys and have all that cap space plus all the picks. If he didn't want to invest a ton, whether it was because of Adam Gase or just not having enough belief in the roster, well, we're still set up now for the next coach. We have all this money. We have all these draft picks. This is what he could sell the next coach on. So for whatever reason it failed, he still gets a clean slate now. Now do something with it.
Now Joe Douglas, if we're being completely honest, gets a complete reset here.
Yeah.
Because now everything up until this point, Adam Gase gets blamed for. Because if it's a bad move, a personnel move, perfect example of this. James Morgan, who we questioned on draft day when they drafted him. Now, I posted today, I can't believe he's playing. He's in bubble wrap. That has to be a Gase pick. Everything that's gone wrong with the New York Jets this year gets blamed on Adam Gase. If Joe Douglas signed the wrong guy, must have been a Gase guy. Everything is so now Joe Douglas has no more fucking excuses, dude, because you've let this all fester. You let this all happen. He took blame for Robbie Anderson. He got credit for the Jamal Adams trade. Leonard Williams, the trade that we kind of credited, is now going to blow up in his face as well. But no more excuses for Joe Douglas. Now you've had basically 2 years to learn how to be a general manager, because year one, you didn't do shit. You signed Ryan Khalil, which blew up in your face. The kicker was handled terribly. The quarterback position was handled terribly. Yep. This year, your free agent class has not been good. Your draft is a complete unknown. No more excuses for Joe Douglas now. You want to be Mr. Big Boy in New York City with all this cap space and all these draft picks. You've got to nail it, and you've got to come out, like you said, you got to get premium draft. You got to get premium free agents, big time free agents. Yep. Prove you can actually sign one, right? That you have to.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to overpay, and you got to sell a vision here.
Or if he's going to continue to do the bargain basement shopping and not get hustled from another team or a free agent and overpay, if he's going to do that, he's got to actually hit on these picks. Like, we can't be shuffling guys in and out every year, not actually, finding, building blocks. At some point, you have to have guys that stay, build some chemistry year after year, have guys that are playing together. I mean, going through this process is not the way you want to do it.
You got to get legitimate talent, game-breaking talent. You have to have a vision, a blueprint, and carry through with it. And if you have to spend money, spend the fucking money, dude. Like, last year was a joke. The last 2 years have been a joke. And it's got to be premium guys. And like you said, and I wouldn't mind being aggressive in the draft. Like you said, we talked about it last year. Like, listen, you got Becton. You desperately needed a wide receiver. We're like, trade up, do this. Like, he got cute with Mims, and it worked out in his favor. But
we thought it did. Right now, is it working out? Based on the way these other receivers are playing, what would you rather have right now? Would you have rather have traded up some extra picks, given up a guy like Zuniga and Ashton Davis to have Justin Jefferson a Jet? Yes, you fucking would. Absolutely.
Yeah,
so especially again, when you look at the other teams, not to cut you off, but like when you look at the other teams, like again, what the Bills did, they prioritized Josh Allen. They were aggressive. They traded a first-round pick. They got Stephon Diggs. The Cleveland Browns, they were aggressive. They traded. They got Jarvis Landry. They got Odell Beckham. Like all these other teams, they prioritize their quarterback. They're aggressive. They go get pieces. The Cardinals, they trade a second-round pick. They get Hopkins in there. We're trading back and we're settling.
Yeah, especially when
it's got to be aggressive now.
Especially when every fan going into the draft was like, "We should get at least 2 receivers. We should get at least 2. We should do this." We walk away with one. Everybody's like, "Oh, this is a great draft. We did this." Okay, like stick to your guns sometimes. Like sometimes, like I don't give a fuck what a draft analyst tells me, what Connor Hughes tells me, what Rich Samine tells me. I honestly don't give a shit. We know this team a lot of times better than a draft analyst do because we see the holes ourselves. We know what our needs are. We know what we're doing, and we know what everybody else is doing. And right now, we're behind. Now, the Dolphins, too, is falling completely apart, but they got a good coach. They got a good scheme. Do they go quarterback in the first round? I think they may, which would make things a lot more interesting. But we got to, I mean, Jefferson's a first-round pick. I know we said, but trade up for him was our point. Yeah. Get aggressive to get your guys. That's the whole point behind this.
Yeah, because you were picking towards, the upper portion of the second round, so it wouldn't have taken a whole lot, I don't think, to move up. If you identify Jefferson as a first-round talent, which he clearly is, he's clearly looking like a number 1 wideout right now. If you thought he was that, why wouldn't you trade up to go get a guy like him?
Yeah, so there's a lot of pressure, man. Obviously, Gase is going to be either fired tonight or tomorrow. He should have been fired before this. Obviously, this is all pretty stupid at this point, but it's pretty much a whatever. But a lot of fascinating. Now it's going to matter what rumors you believe, what stories you believe. The media's going to take advantage of this and put all kinds of clickbait out there. So you got to be careful what you honestly believe and go from there. So listen, I'm excited. Like I know it's very easy to be negative, but I'm hoping that the Johnsons finally learn their lesson and say, listen, let our football guys that we spent a lot of money on and a 6-year contract, let them figure out the future of our team. Because obviously when they went out and hired Corn Ferry and brought in John Idzik, that didn't work out. Casserly brought in fucking Mike McCagnon. That didn't work out. Let's figure out. We have the in-house guys. You obviously have faith in them. You let them mishandle this whole season. So, and see what happens. They can blame everything on Gase. So the Jets as an organization are getting a pass now because once they fire him, everybody believes the problem is gone. That's the common belief, right?
Yep.
And now we all move forward. And it's so much pressure on Joe Douglas, dude. So much.
Yeah, listen, I'm just tired of seeing the light. I'm not trying to be too negative, but I want to see results. We've been in this position numerous times over the past decade. We haven't gotten it right. I understand the way Joe Douglas may have been trying to set things up for the future. Now he's in position to do something with it. That Jamal Adams trade, the Leonard Williams trade, it only, becomes a success if your picks actually hit. So he's got a lot of work to do.
You guys are mad about bargain basement, but happy about all the cap space here. Had to pick one or the other. You could actually do both. You could sign quality free agents and have cap space this year. It's not hard to figure out, man.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is spend money and get no return on it is exactly what Joe Douglas did last year.
Yep.
It happened both ways, man. This isn't like a lot of this isn't rocket science.
Yeah, like I would sacrifice some cap space right now to have, a solidified anchor, another anchor on the offensive line, like a Conklin or a Trent Williams, like somebody like
better
that.
center.
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah, that comment makes no sense to me, man. So, yep, no more Rice and nice. No more money bullshit. I want premium guys. They got to spend money, man, and they're gonna pay a Jets tax. And no good free agents are coming to this shit show. That changes with a quality coaching hire.
Well,
you get a respected coach.
That, and also you have a lot of teams that are up against the cap right now. So you may have some guys that are still sitting there come July, August that you may be able to get at a bargain.
You build through the draft. Obviously, you also build when you have $80 million in cap space. You can get players that way as well. The Jets are
I don't think that's how Douglas wants to build his team, though. He'll supplement his team through free agency. He'll sign a couple guys. I don't think he's going to go crazy though with free agency. We'll sign maybe a Robinson or an offensive lineman, but we're not bringing in 5-6 premium free agents.
Yep. So I mean, this chat is just crazy right now. Tyson, you're 100% correct. Next one is this is totally a Douglas built team from here on. Gase can't take much flack after this offseason's over, dude. Your built-in excuses, Gase, is gone now. Starting today, the excuses are gone. Every move you make from now on, from here going forward, is Joe Douglas's issue. Either going to get credit for it, or he's going to get roasted for it. So any player that gets re-signed right now, any contract negotiation, any reaching out is all on Joe Douglas. I guess Kyler Murray got hurt. That sucks, man.
Oh, did he really?
I can see the Jets firing Douglas in a couple of years. Best get rid of him. I just don't trust the fat bastard. I mean, that's just... I mean, the next coach you hire here, you're going to have to kind of give the coach some assurances that you're going to be paired up with Joe Douglas for the next 3 or 4 years. The last thing you want is to hire the coach and fire the general manager next year, because that's what got us here to begin with. Like, you can't play musical chairs all the time. You need continuity, and you got to do it that way.
Whoever Douglas hires, those two are a pair, and they're either staying together or they're leaving together in a couple of years.
Bingo. At least we made New England's draft pick worse and made sure they will be way too far back to land the top quarterbacks in the Jets draft, so the Jets fans win. Listen, New England's creative, man. If there's somebody they want, they have draft picks they could trade up and do things. I'm not even worried about them. Dude, the Bills are the class of the division. Yep. Like, I'm not worried about New England anymore, man. Like, the Dolphins have a lot of pieces in place right now. They may need a quarterback, which is fascinating.
Even Miami too, with all their picks. That they
what if the Dolphins get Matthew Stafford? They make that move. So I'm not worried about the Patriots anymore, man.
Yep.
Let's see.
Bathroom break real quick.
Oh, prime time's leaving us. Majority of Jet fans need to stop rationalizing every move Joe Douglas makes is the right move, even if it doesn't align with their philosophy. He doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt. Listen, he's getting the benefit of the doubt now because he's got 4 more years here. But it's fair to question him because we're looking at our roster now with the new coach in place. How many building blocks do you have? Where are we going with this? And there's a lot of questions. The draft class is a relative unknown. How many starters are in this draft class? We can't even answer that question other than Becton and Mims. The Jets have 5 picks, rounds 1 to 3, including number 2 pick and 4 on day 3. You trade Sam for a pick and comp picks. There's a lot to build around Fields. I agree with you. I completely agree. The notion that the Jets have to trade down because they need a lot more, you can take a quarterback at 2 and build around him with the draft picks you have and the salary cap space you have. It can be done. But this is where the general manager's got to earn his paycheck. Like, enough with the justifying, like, all this shit with – it's just crazy. Do you guys fire Joe D if Matt Campbell says he'd come here but wants full control? I don't know. Does Matt Campbell warrant full control?
That would be tough.
That'd be tough. Not sure. That's a good question.
And if Joe Douglas is running the search, I mean, would he even pursue Matt Campbell if that was his thought process? I mean,
yeah, that's the hierarchy. I hope changes here. Where I'm really tired of the head coach and general manager being on the same page. You want some kind of structure here. Now,
in theory, you'd like the head coach to report to the GM, but is Joe Douglas at that level right now where you trust him enough for that?
I don't know.
Again, like if he was a hire based on the recommendation of Adam Gase, and like the report from Tony Pauline said, he wasn't their first choice. They wanted Patton from Minnesota. If that's the thought process within the organization from the higher ups, he might not have that much trust right now. I don't really know.
I'm looking forward to the press conference when they fire Gase and the media gets a chance to ask Chris Johnson some questions, because they got to ask. I mean, the questions are obvious, dude. Yep. What are you looking for in a coach? What is going to be the reporting structure going forward? Who has final say on personnel? Who has final say on the head coach? Like all these questions are blatant, obvious questions that Chris Johnson has to answer. And he can't bumble his words. Well, we got to make an organizational decision. Dude, cut the shit, man. You've been exposed as a fraud. Chris Johnson's been exposed on so many levels here that the questions the media has to ask him in this press conference are blatantly obvious. He's got to answer them. He can't bumble and stumble. Oh, but no, dude. Fucking face the music, man.
Yep.
You doubled down on this coach fucking 15 weeks ago, right? After that loss to the Bills, he told us how great this guy was.
Yep, after week 1.
He's got to own it, man. Clown. So let's see. We'll go to the comments real quick here. And I guess once they actually announce that Gase is fired, we will go live with that. I'll probably do a shotgun to celebrate it. Let's see what we got here. Do you think Urban Meyer drafts Fields? I don't know, man. The whole Ryan Day drafting Fields is interesting, but they're saying Ryan Day doesn't want to come out, doesn't want to go to the pros. It's interesting. That could be just a thing for more money. Looks like Jacksonville's the hot job, though. It's everybody's getting everybody's attention, number 1 pick.
What a surprise.
Could have been the Jets.
Yep.
Campbell can't prove he can ask for full control at an NFL level yet. I was kind of thinking the same thing. That's something that Peyton or Cowher can do. Let's see. The Steelers have the same hierarchy, Tyson. The Steelers also have a very competent, well-established organization. Significant difference, dude. They've proven their Steelers way has worked for years. What's the Jets way been?
They've had 3 coaches over, 35 years? Chuck Noll, Cowher, and then Tomlin?
What they're doing actually works.
Yeah.
So comparing the Jets to the Steelers, probably not the best idea. Buffalo and Miami had the lead in the Jets. The Jets will be in the rearview mirror for at least 5 years. So then probably 2, but it depends on who you do. It depends on who you get as a head coach, man, how you change it. They've got to make splash
I don't
moves,
see
man.
them overpassing either of those teams in the next 2 years, but I mean.
Yeah. I'm concerned about hiring a coach from college with no NFL experience. I'd much rather an OC with NFL experience. I'd rather have a coach that has head coach experience over a first-time head coach. That's my personal preference. I don't know what you think, Primetime.
I mean, even if that guy was Dable.
Yeah, I mean.
Not that I think he would come here, but again, like I think him versus certain college coaches would be different.
I mean, would you rather have Dable or Matt Campbell?
Probably Dable, to be honest.
I'd probably go Matt Campbell.
Yeah.
I want
that's a close one because those are like 2 guys that are probably in my top 3, but
I want the established guy, man. The guy that's proven that he can win with a team.
I just think there's a big difference between like Dable and even Bieniemy, if you want to throw him in there, versus a lot of other coordinators that are being talked about. So,
thoughts on the Jets trading back to 4 with Falcons while they pick Sewell and the Jets get a 3rd. And
wait, listen, I'll even say this: like if we're trading back, we got to get more than that. You have to get a ridiculous haul. I don't even care that you're only moving back 2 picks. If you're trading back for a team that wants a quarterback, you're getting again multiple firsts, multiple seconds, and probably a 3rd as well. And if you can move back to 4 and get that kind of package, I think you have to do it, especially now with the Dolphins potentially in the quarterback market. If you can get Sewell potentially at 4 or even the top wideout at Jamar Chase, that's tempting.
All I want as a fan is continuity. I don't want to keep seeing a new coach and GM every 3 years. It's just not what great franchises do.
Yep.
Dude, look at the Baltimore Ravens in terms of their front office and how they do things. You need to get a general manager and a front office in place that you know knows what they're doing, can draft well, figure things out, good contract management, good signings. We need continuity and stability, man. We have none right now. Yeah. I'm telling you, there's more questions than answers this offseason than last offseason. There legitimately is.
Yeah, a lot of the answers that we thought we might have had coming into this year, Jordan Jenkins and a few other guys, Chris Herndon, they haven't turned out to be answers.
Tyson, with all this COVID and teams losing money, don't you think some guys will be available that wouldn't have been on a normal year? Absolutely. There are going to be a ton of teams with the new salary cap. There's going to be a lot of players cut. A lot of the Saints, for example, can't afford to keep half their team. A lot of guys available. So you can get them. The opportunity is going to be there. That's my point. Joe Douglas knows the projected salary cap. He knows the contracts. He has a feel for the entire NFL. Have a plan and be aggressive and get them.
I'm just curious how many of those guys are actually going to be, players that are in their prime that are actually building blocks versus, guys that if you were a win now team, yes, would make sense. But for the Jets, do they make a lot of sense?
Not to put it all on Gase. Hard to tell what we've got with Gase. Joe Douglas probably protecting Morgan from Gase. Injury and poor play could decline now. Dude, listen, for James Morgan not to play in a lost season like this is ludicrous. There's teams playing guys they signed 2 weeks ago on the street that are playing today and actually playing well all across the NFL. To hide Morgan this year, fuck, it's ridiculous.
Everything they've done on offense, hiding Morgan, not playing Clark,
Feeding Gore endlessly.
Not featuring Mims, not giving Ty Johnson or another running back some carries instead of Gore. Everything they've done on offense has been a joke.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many questions now. It's embarrassing. Let's see. Watching first-time head coaches struggle with clock management was always painful. Head coach experience is priceless, but then again, McVay.
Herm was terrible at that.
Yep. But then, Herm had to hire he had to hire Dick Curl, the time management guy. He had to hire a clock management guy.
Yep.
That's why I want the guy that's already been a head coach. He understands. And if you're a first-time head coach in the NFL, but say you're Matt Campbell or Pat Fitzgerald, you get an experienced veteran coach in the NFL to be on your staff to help you with the little things, the rule changes, whatever little shit you got to do. Yep. It's not that, I don't know. A lot of this isn't rocket science, man. It's
Just it is.
It just seems like it. So, we got here. How many players didn't get on the field because of their relationship with Gase? Who knows, man?
I mean, we argued for over a year that Bell was pretty much never utilized the right way as far as, what he could do as a receiver coming out of the backfield. We never really got to see that version of Le'Veon Bell. I mean, Herndon, his first year as a rookie was pretty solid. Didn't really do too much after that with Gase. I know some of that was his fault with some of the drops and fumbles, but nobody's really progressed under Gase. So,
thoughts on Dwayne Haskins' flyer? Absolutely not. No, thank you.
Oh.
Take on Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith is a solid candidate. Not high, I mean, he's on like it's a top 10 list I have, but he's not in the top 5 for me.
Yeah,
so
same.
Campbell as head coach, Wade Phillips as a defensive coordinator is a good combo.
Wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, listen, if you want to bring in a Campbell or Fitzgerald and bring him with, give him like a Dan Quinn or somebody on the other side of the ball, or however you want to do it, that's fine. I have no problem with any of that. Let's see. This chat is just nuts, man. Holy shit.
I see one comment. What's the worst possible scenario?
Let's see. I didn't see that, but let's see. Worst possible scenario. I don't know. Name a coach you really don't want.
Patricia, O'Brien,
Martin Lewis, Hugh Jackson, Jim Caldwell. Any of those guys I don't want. You need an inspiring coach, man. It's got to inspire the players, inspire the organization, accountability, leadership. Just it's a guy guys want to play for. A guy free agents will come here and play for.
Yep.
Let's see. What else we got here? Bill O'Brien. That name is mentioned a lot of times. I don't want him either. Let's see. It's execution time for Joe Douglas. It's the perfect time to accelerate this rebuild and grab players that wouldn't be available in a normal year. I feel like we can improve quicker than people think. You could get the right coach, the right system, the right offense. Scheme around your players.
No matter how much we improve, though, I don't think we're getting better than Buffalo.
No, not this year. Definitely not.
Even in 2 years.
Let's see. Do a couple more here. This chat is just nuts, dude. Holy shit. We got. Come on, Tyson. I mean, Dan Quinn. I hit the wrong button. Shit. Come on, Tyson. Dan Quinn could really do better than that. As a defensive coordinator, he was highly touted. But my example is of bringing a veteran coach at a positional coach like that. So, Josh McDaniels never coming here, and you can't really. I mean, he's never going to come here.
We get that name every show. Yeah, he's never coming here, I don't think.
Wink as head coach and Marvin Lewis as defensive coordinator has been rumored a lot. That's because of their relationship with Joe Douglas. Well, who's the offensive coordinator is kind of the question, because Martindale's a defensive guy and Marvin Lewis it's more of who they bring on the offensive side of the ball. They mentioned the coordinator from Clemson.
Yeah, Tony Elliott.
So, Tyson, when are we doing a Stone Pony fan meetup? When the Stone Pony's open. Shit, man, I'm dying to go back there. Zach's fifth or Justin the Jet, which sounds better because we just saw Sam ruin his chance of staying with the team. Tough day for Sam Darnold, man.
So wait, hold on. So a week 17 meaningless game with a coach so a week 17 meaningless game with a coach who is getting fired now. That was the make or break game for Sam.
The whole season was a make or break for Sam.
You told me before the year started that it wasn't make or break for
I didn't think he was going to regress this bad. He is damaged goods, man. He is demoralized, dazed, confused. He saw a snow ghost. He melted into snow.
You still told me it wasn't make or break for Sam this year.
I never thought he played this bad. And now it's done. Adios, muchacho.
You changed your mind by week 3.
I did because I know it when I see it. Like I knew Mike McCagnon was a fraud when I saw it. I know Sam Darnold needs to go. Joe Brady, I know people are very high on him. To me, I would like him to have a lot more experience before he comes to New York to coach a team or New Jersey. It's a tough spot, man. He's very young. He'd have to have an excellent staff around him. And how can he handle the media? How can he handle the pressure? How can he handle his team? I think to me, that's a big step. I have other guys higher than him. I know what you think, Primetime.
Yeah, plenty of other guys that are higher than him. Doesn't have the experience for me. And just to address all the comments, again, this is not just about Sam Darnold. My case for trading the pick, it is.
I haven't even been posting them. I was being nice to you.
No, but I see them, so I'm going to address them. It is so much more beyond just building around Sam. I don't care about building around Sam. I believe in Sam. I think, again, right coach, some weapons around him, he could be good. But it's not even about that. It's about looking at this roster realistically right now and saying, what do we have going forward? We don't have anything other than hopefully a healthy Mekhi Becton and Quinnen Williams and maybe a healthy Denzel Mims. Other than that, we do not have anything. So if you have an opportunity, I'm not just talking about, like 2 or 3 picks, a ridiculous trade haul to move back from 2, not moving too far back. You get an extra 4, 5, 6 premium picks. That should be a conversation, not because you believe in Sam or you want to build around him, but because you want to build a roster. You want to set a foundation, whether it's, for Sam or for the next quarterback. You need a roster. We don't have talent. A quarterback alone is not changing the state of the Jets right now.
All right. I'm going to stay away from the Sam Darnold conversation because I'm not going to get done that. Why do you dislike so many players? I'm not really sure what you're saying. Resign McDougal? Absolutely not. I thought he was horrendous. There's just we need answers at safety, but bring back May and McDougal was terrible.
What did he show that was worth bringing back?
I have no idea, dude. The Jets can definitely turn around with the right pieces, and signing Dable might have to overpay him, but it will develop your next quarterback. The problem that you have, based on the early reports, is Dable's already got his eyes on Herbert and the Chargers.
Yep.
The Jaguars he's looking at. He hasn't been mentioning the Jets at all, to be honest with you.
Yep.
So, listen, I understand. Sometimes you want to go with the known over the unknown. You have Deshaun Watson or Herbert or Darnold or the unknown. You're gonna take those guys, man.
I wonder what those teams are willing to pay him, though.
Dude, if they're smart, they pay him what he wants. I feel like the performance of Justin Fields versus Bama is going to determine the type of head coach we get in the offseason. The type of head coach we get? Why would that determine it? I
guess if he shines and attracts the right coach to come here. Maybe they're not sold on Fields yet. I don't know.
Could be. The Jets will be interviewing before that, though. When's that game? Another week away?
Yeah, next Monday.
It could be. I don't know. Please just trade back and add weapons.
It's got to be a consideration, depending on the trade offer. I think it has to be.
Let's see. Let's make Chase McLaughlin our kicker for the next couple of years. We're talking about kickers now? I'm sorry, Nicholas. I can't get in the kickers right now. I just can't.
Least of our concerns.
Yeah. We have so many other problems right now. Matt Campbell would be a home run hire. Dude's a bona fide leader and overseer. His resume is top notch.
Yep.
But it's a matter of if he wants to come. He turned the Jets down last time. So we'll see. Lost a man like Dable when we beat the fucking Rams. Could very well be. The number 1 pick changes a lot of things, man. Then a guy like Dable may say, listen, I'm a Trevor Lawrence guy. That's who I want. That's kind of why everybody's Jacksonville's the talk now, right? With all these coaches.
Yeah, that would have been.
This guy wants to go Jacksonville. This guy wants to go Jacksonville. But we were the assholes for saying number 1 pick is,
well, like you said, everybody was enjoying it at the time. Now the season's over. We're 2-14, and we have to face the consequences of our win. So enjoy it.
Campbell or Bieniemy? Bieniemy's being tied to Houston right now, but he's definitely a guy, definitely interesting candidate. A lot of things a lot of debates about him. What would you trade for Sean Payton? I'd trade him a second first-round pick. I'd make a bold-ass move. That second first-round pick, I'd trade it for Sean Payton. I'd do it. I don't really give a shit. I think he's a culture changer. He is instant credibility like Bill Cowher. That's a guy that's here for the next 5-6 years easily. That's me, though.
That would be a tough one for me. I don't know.
I'm just that desperate.
I could probably
when the Jets had when they had Coach went to Parcells, they had to give up shit to get him. They're in the same boat now, man.
I guess depending on what the alternative would be.
I think if you're the Jets, you draft Sewell, would be huge. Grab some wide receivers. Okay.
Could go that route.
Trade back. Yeah. I mean, it's trading back. You're looking for whole different things. How much compensation you get, receivers, offensive line. You could do a bunch of different things.
Yeah. The for who part though is pretty easy. I think. I mean, if you're not trading back far and you're sitting there at 4 and the Dolphins end up going quarterback, you could still be sitting there and getting Sewell. If you're still in the top 10, you're looking at guys like Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, number 1 wideouts, which we desperately need. And again, just stockpiling all those picks, that gives you so much flexibility, whether you want to trade up and get your guy, trade back, move picks next year. Like, all options are on the table at that point.
I appreciate you too for being a smidge more miserable than me. It helped me get through 16 long weeks. This season's been miserable. This has been as bad. I mean, I have experienced rage and anger and shit that I haven't experienced in years with this team. So, I mean, college coaches don't work in the NFL. I mean, Matt Rule was getting praised. I mean, I don't know.
Even Kingsbury, I mean.
Well, Kingsbury's flaming out a little bit. There's questions about him going to today, but the way he's handling Kyler Murray.
As long as they win today, they're going to the playoffs.
But Kingsbury also didn't win in college too. He wasn't a good. He was based on his reputation with quarterbacks.
Yep.
Matt Rule rebuilt 2 programs. So you look at Matt Campbell's resume: 3-time coach of the year. Pat Fitzgerald rebuilt it. I mean, what they did compared to Kingsbury is significantly different. Maybe Perryman is good. He just had Adam Gase and no QB town around them. That's basically your case for Sam. Perryman's not good. He can get the fuck out of here.
Except Perriman also has a sample of being with good teams, the Ravens, Bucks. What did he really do? He had a 5-game sample with Tampa, and that was it. He's had high flying offense with Tampa. It took him, the final weeks until he finally did something with the Ravens. You would think that's a perfect organization to thrive in. What did he do as a first round pick? He was a bust there. So he had talent around him. He had the coach around him. He had the system there. What did he do? He was injured. Didn't really catch the ball. We've seen it with the Jets this year. How many drops have we seen? Sorry, it's apples and oranges.
Definitely need to look at the coach that have helped rebuild programs from ground up. That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, some of these guys, they've done it. Peyton, Cowher, Fitzgerald, Campbell. These guys have all done it already. This is a rebuild, man. Like you got to get a culture and build up your program and, get your systems in there. Have a program people want to come play for. People kind of want to watch. I mean, there's a lot. You're taking on a lot with Schaub. And that's why I don't want Brady. Joe Brady. Tom Brady I can give a shit about too. Let's see here. The Packers-Bears is 7-7. A lot of pressure on the Bears there. Trubisky too is an interesting situation. Yeah, this was overall one of the worst seasons since the mid-90s. Much more bad than good. This was the worst. I was a season ticket holder for Rich Kotite, and this was worse than that season. Easily the worst than that.
Yeah, this was the worst football we've seen. But as far as being the most angry, I mean, I feel like going into some of the years where we expected more with some of those Rex teams, and even the other years where Chad got hurt, Vinny got hurt. Those years, I feel like were more demoralizing in a sense because we expected more from those teams. This year, we kind of came in, we didn't have any expectations. We expected Gase to be a failure, which he was. But still, just watching this every week, it was just exhausting. It was nauseating. So I'm just glad it's over.
I mean, terrible tackling, terrible line play, terrible. Everything was just terrible for the most part. They won 2 games. They celebrated it, and they've been 2 out of 16 games. It just isn't cutting it, man.
Nope.
So let's see what happened here. We do a few more. This chat is just wild, man. Thank you guys for joining us. This chat is just nuts, man. Are Adam Gase and Mike McCarthy the top 2 worst coaches? I throw Anthony Lynn in there. He's been pretty bad too.
McCarthy's up there though.
Yeah, they've done. I mean, losing Prescott was a big blow, but their defense has just been awful. I mean, they just completely underachieved. Even with a guy like Andy Dalton, who's a quality veteran backup, they should have been much better.
Yeah,
just time management was weird. The punt there, or the going for it on 4th down in weird spots was weird. So let's see. Darnold and our second for Sean Payton. Done. I would do that.
No, you do that.
Doug Marrone, another guy who's completely flamed out, but the Jaguars don't have a lot of talent either, man. They got a lot of problems in there too. I knew this was coming. Tyson in prime. Stafford balled out today. I still think trading Sam the 2nd pick while going for it with him could get us to the playoffs. Is Matthew Stafford the answer? You sign him or trade for him, and then you use number 2 pick on the offensive line and go that route?
I don't think they're going to do that.
That's a win now move. But you gotta, I mean,
If they were going to go that route, you don't think they would just sign Dak, or at least try to?
well, Dak's coming off an injury though. Stafford's healthy and running around right now.
Yeah, he's older though. They could try to sell Dak as the answer going forward.
I mean, Colts are looking at Stafford. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are quarterback away. So, I mean, and to anybody asking,
I want a long-term answer. I mean,
Carson Wentz is no for me. No, thank you on Carson Wentz.
Oh, yeah,
I'll say
definitely
no, thank you. The contract, the player, he's like we're making fun of Sam Darnold being damaged goods. What the hell's Carson Wentz at this point with a monster contract? Do you guys watch the Michael K show? I think Primetime does.
sometimes depends if I'm home.
Yeah, I can't take a lot of it now because some of this shit's just they don't know. They know enough about the Jets to be dangerous, but nothing that's really the pulse of the fans anymore. They have no idea what the fans want or what we know.
Yeah, sometimes Legreca's okay, but Kay and Rosenberg, they don't know shit about the Jets. And the alternative with Carton and Roberts lately isn't much better. So the midday.
They talk about like condiments and shit. Like there's like a bad Jets loss. They're arguing about like whatever.
Yeah.
So, something tells me if our head coach will come from the Eagles or Ravens, money's on Roman. It would be Martindale. That's the hot name, man.
I have a feeling it's going to be Martindale, just with all the connections from Boomer mentioning it and all that.
Yep.
Connection with Joe Douglas to the Ravens.
The minute Boomer mentioned it a couple weeks ago, I'm like, oh, that's the Jets floating it out there. That's the minute he said that. I'm like, there's always he has like he just I don't know. Weird, very weird. Let's see. Wentz is done. A lot of things on Wentz. No Wentz. We agree with that. Prime time. Who's a veteran backup that you want?
Ooh, I don't even know who the veteran backups
no
are that are
idea.
going to be available. Mariota would be nice, but he signed for an extra year with the Raiders, so that's not even an option. I'd be okay bringing McCown back as like a coach / third quarterback veteran type. Matt Moore, maybe. I mean, he's a name that's really tossed around almost every year. Nick Foles.
No thanks on Brian Schottenheimer. No thank you whatsoever. That's just I still have nightmares about him. Would you guys like the Martindale, Marvin Lewis, and Tom Herman as offensive coordinator? That's been the rumor, man. There's been like 3 or 4 rumors about Martindale and Martin Lewis and different offensive coordinators. Marvin Lewis is an excellent defensive coordinator. He was like a Rex Ryan kind of guy. He was that highly touted. It gives Martindale a first-time head coach, experienced coach on his staff. Just how they can build the offense, man. That's what you worry about.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Lewis as the defensive coordinator. I don't know too much about Herman as OC. And again, with Martindale, I feel like he's a similar version of Rex. You're probably going to like him. He's going to bring some bravado, good on the defense, but how's he going to build that offense? I don't know.
What's Sam's value right now? A third or fourth? I have honestly no idea. See, the thing that's going to happen is that Sam could ask for out. That could be one thing. And his agent could start floating rumors too, like 10 or 12 teams interested. Like there's gonna be a lot, like the Jets could leak things, the agent can leak things. Like there's gonna be a lot of games that be played to help boost his value up. 10 teams interested, like, 10 teams are interested, but we got to get our, they're trying to find ways to boost his value.
I think they'll find a way to get a second round pick if that's the route they choose to go down.
Conditional pick somewhere, but it's my top guy is Campbell. I can respect that. Hard to argue with that.
I'd be cool with that.
Like for me, I'm shooting for the stars. I'm shooting for the Paytons and the Cowers, which cannot be realistic. And they could say, hey, fuck off. We don't want, no way. I'm not going to go to your team. And that's completely fine. And then you go down to everybody else. And that's, shoot for the stars though, man. We have to. We'll see what happens though. I don't know.
No other choice.
Rock bottom for sure. Let's see. So we're live tomorrow night, 8:00. That's one thing we mentioned. Or I think we have our special guest tomorrow night too. He's going to be joining us.
We will have Gase on one final time for.
I got to brace myself for that because it's very difficult to get through those.
Yep.
And if he goes, so what's our deal? If he gets fired tonight, we come back on. Is that how we're going to do this?
Yeah, I'll be around. So yeah, if the announcement comes tonight, hop back on.
If that, and then tomorrow we should tomorrow night. Yeah, we'll just just do that. I love the mindset about the coaches, Tyson. Thank you. Let's see. What is this? I want to answer this one because hold on, one prime time. One more. You giving Coward 10-year, $100 million contract? I don't think he's going to want 10 years, but if he probably wants 6 or 7, I give it to him. Money is not an issue for the Johnsons. They have it. Spend it.
Give him 6 years, $100 million.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Like the money that the Johnsons spend the quarterback.
$100 million is worth it to rebuild this team from where they are right now.
It doesn't impact your salary cap, man. That's money that Johnson's pocket. And, at this point, they owe it to us to spend the money. They have not spent money on a head coach in years. They have it. They make plenty of money. So let them spend it. I can honestly give a shit.
Yep.
My plan, I will not tell until he's actually fired, but we gave out hints before. It include an email blast, a social media plan, possibly handouts. I had a slogan. I had a logo. So a lot to do with that. So, but it will be announced, but not in a special video because I don't want to get more attention than it's supposed to get. So, and that's it. I'm not worried about Bill Cowher being out of the league that long. He's still tied to the NFL. He still has a tremendous amount of resources. So he'll be fine. Completely fine. Not even if he leaves, he's had a Hall of Fame career. If he leaves to come back, I think he's completely committed to it. He'll
Yeah, if he's going to put his reputation on the line, it's going to be for the right reasons, I think.
Yep. So thank you again for joining us. We'll be live tomorrow night, 8:00, unless Gase is fired before that. We'll come on live right after that too. So talk to you guys later.
Later.